When I look back on the highlight reel of my year and the highlight reel of my life, it's always things that scare me a little. If I was gonna tell the story of this year, it is the story of trusting myself. In January, we were living in a studio. Garrett was doing maintenance for a job. I had 36,000 subscribers. I had just launched the intentional planner. I had not had a calendar before. So when I look back, I'm like, there's been a lot that's changed this year. Overall, I would say that the vibe in January was that I was really proud of my accomplishments and feeling really satisfied. We didn't know when we moved to San Francisco if we could even make it.
San Francisco, sweetie.
To go from the cost of living in Idaho to the cost of living here was huge. And I didn't even know if we could make it. To not only be making it, but to make more money that month than I had in 2 years of teaching, I was just so satisfied and grateful for that. And I kind of had this feeling of like, I think I made it. I think I finally made it. Interestingly, despite being on kind of a mountaintop, metaphorically, like, wow, we climbed to this thing, like did this amazing thing, I started feeling like that was a cliff. I started feeling like there's nowhere to go but down is the mindset I started being in. I was like, we're at such a mountaintop, it cannot sustain. This is a planner, it's gonna sell really seasonally. I'm never gonna make this much money again. And it really started to reveal a lot of beliefs that I had. And that is something that I have loved about YouTube this whole time and having a business, is that it reveals so many mindset things. It embodies so much character growth. Like if nothing else, if you don't even make a lot of money from it, you just grow so much character-wise that I love it for that alone. Now, my husband Garrett has a great mindset. So throughout this time, there were just a lot of conversations about, should I do a course, which I ended up doing? Should I get new camera gear? Should I get a new mic? Should I get a coach? Like, while we have this opportunity, should we buy a house? Should we save up? I mean, there was a lot of conversations about how do we be smart with using this money. And one thing that we had really wanted for a while was like, we do not want to live in a studio anymore. That studio was 300 square feet. Saying goodbye to our house. And I was like, we've been here over a year, so we're just month to month now. Let's just start looking for a place. And it was just so amazing to finally be in this place, which is a 1-bedroom, which felt huge coming from a studio. It was a big jump financially. I felt like, I don't know, is this gonna be there? And the whole metaphor that I was thinking throughout February was, we are like a crab. Certain types of crabs will have a shell and then they outgrow it, and so they need to go into a new shell. But they need to go into a shell that's a little bit too big for them right now, and then they'll grow into it. And that was kind of the metaphor that I kept carrying throughout February, was like, I'm gonna go into this bigger place. I don't know if we can afford it sustainably, but I want to do it, and I want to just grow into it. Because what I found about myself is that when I take a risk, I go into something too big for me, I will rise to the occasion. That's something that I found out about myself. If I raise the bar and raise the bar and raise the bar, if I put myself in these challenging situations, I will rise to it. And that's kind of just like this belief that I've learned over time. So in February, we moved into a 1-bedroom apartment, which I am so happy. You guys, we have the keys. We're here. Beautiful day for moving. I love the neighborhood. It is my favorite neighborhood. I love it so much. I wish I could show you. And we got Muffin. That's my cat, if you don't know. I got a cat. Look at him, he's so cute. I had a cat on my vision board, and so we finally got Muffin, and he has just lit up my life. I've always loved cats. I'm just obsessed with cats, and he's been the best cat. Like, he plays fetch. We take him on walks. I've got my we call it little space back for him, and it's just been great. It just feels crazy. I look back like, oh, that was February that we got Muffin. It's crazy. So one thing about me, when I move, all sorts of routine gets thrown off, especially with YouTube, and that has not been good because YouTube's my job, and I've moved a lot. We moved from Southern Idaho to Northern Idaho. We moved from Northern Idaho to the Airbnb, we moved from the Airbnb to the studio, we moved from the studio to the apartment. All of this has happened since like starting the YouTube channel, which was only 4 years ago. And so every time I move, there's like this whole transition, this upheaval thing, which I know happens. That's why we stayed in the studio as long as we did. I was like, I fall off every time we move, because I'm just like, where am I gonna set up? Where am I gonna set the set, everything. So anyways, we moved into the 1-bedroom apartment in February, and I stopped posting. Conversely, the analytics started dying off, and that started becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy. I started saying to myself, I knew that it wasn't gonna last. I knew it was just this temporary thing. And sometimes it feels like kind of like success and crash, success and crash. And really what it was a self-fulfilling prophecy. I thought it was gonna happen, which made me not want to post, and the move kind of exacerbated that. And so then I didn't post. And so then, the analytics didn't stay. And I was just like, I'm just like seasonal. I can't do anything besides seasonally. Every time the weather is so bad and overcast, I get in this like reevaluating my whole life mode. And I really started not trusting myself. I dove heavily into research and basically trying to change myself. Like, what are all the copywriting techniques? What are the thumbnail techniques? What do I need to do? How do I need to speak differently? And this year, 2024, has just been kind of a journey in me changing myself and not trusting myself and doubting myself, which as we get further into the year, I'll talk about like how that's changed. But it really started in the beginning of the year feeling like I'm only successful at this time of the year and I can't sustain it. So then March came, and March signified even more change. So in March, Garrett got offered his dream job. So he decided to go part-time maintenance and part-time at this dream job. So that was kind of a little bit of a change. We're like, oh, this is great. This is like really good change for him. Thought this would be really good. I spent a lot of time trying to decorate this new place because I was like, I need to have a studio. I need to have somewhere to film. So that took up a lot of my time. And I picked up the camera a few times in March. I picked up the camera, tried to film, ended up not doing it, filmed a vlog, never posted it. I was so much in my head that in March things were not working. Then at the end of March, we got some news that Garrett's best friend from high school passed away. That was my best friend from high school's brother. So Garrett and I met in high school. His best friend and my best friend were brother and sister, and that's how we started dating because the four of us would hang out a lot. We found out in March that he passed away, and that just really, that was just really sad. That really kind of changed the course of March and April, because then there was going back home for funerals, having tough conversations with people that I love. And so that really became at the forefront. In April, I traveled back for the funeral, and I just felt like an immovable boulder. I just felt like I could not get myself to film. Like there was just like nothing I could do to get myself to film. And I was just feeling a lot of doubt in myself, and I was just feeling really ashamed. But the thing was, kind of the pro and cons of it was, I had made a lot of money at the start of the year, so I didn't need to work. So there wasn't a need to, there wasn't a want to. I was feeling really insecure, and I was really tired. So all those things kind of coalescing into me not really doing much in April. And I spent probably 2 months there that I just kind of spent in bed. I wasn't depressed throughout my whole life. Really struggled a lot with depression until 4 or 5 years ago or so. And like I haven't struggled with it since. So I wasn't depressed. It was just this like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like I was content to just be on Reddit all the time and watch YouTube all the time. And I was just kind of enjoying that. I mean, feeling ashamed about doing it, but not depressed. It's just kind of a weird, I was in a weird state, just like an immovable boulder, basically. And basically, like I say, it was just like the self-fulfilling prophecy where I was on the mountaintop, I saw it as a cliff, and so it became one, and I just kind of fell into this pit and then didn't move. So then in May, there was like a lot of travel. There was a murder mystery party. We went to Lake Tahoe. My parents came and visited in San Francisco. We immediately then, for several weeks in June, went up to Idaho to visit family. So May and June was just marked by a lot of travel. People came to see us, we went to see other people, and there was just so much going on. And it was right in this time that we were just feeling like, I think we can make it actually if Garrett quits his maintenance job. So if Garrett is just part-time at his dream job, and then he can help me with editing, and then I'm doing YouTube, I'm like, we're making enough money that we can do this. So he quit maintenance at that point, and that was really exciting because it's like we had some guaranteed like stability because he's got that one part-time job, but then there's like a lot of freedom. We get to be around each other a lot. When we went up to Idaho, we trained, like stopping in Portland, going to Idaho. So we were just kind of all over the map in those few months. I love train trips, by the way. I am obsessed with train trips. So the thing about selling a planner is that it's very seasonal. It's a seasonal at the new year, and then also school year. There's an uptick in sales. And so I've been thinking about and getting a lot of questions about for a few years about having like a school year, like having one where the dates start at the school year. And I was like, you know what, I should do that. But what the next few months would be, you know, that quote is, unhappiness is not knowing what you want and killing yourself to get it. That is what kind of characterized July, August, September. I think I'd felt a lot of shame for not posting, so I'm like, I need to get back into posting, and it just got very difficult. So in July, we had some friends come and visit, then we had another friend come to visit. The thing about living in San Francisco is we have people visiting all the time, which is really great, and I love it. But when I'm trying to be productive, it is so difficult to want to be present and show people around. If they're here for a week, I have the ability to take the whole week off, and a lot of times that's what I want to do is hang out with them, but there's so many people coming that I'm taking so many weeks off. And like if I keep working, then it's like in the morning when they come, I like try to get all the work done at like 6 to 8 a.m. and then I go hang out all day with them, and then I'm coming back. It's just a lot to be doing that. So at this job that Garrett got, things started really not working out, and he started saying, this is actually not gonna work out. And some like seasonal sales from like the August plan were like doing pretty good, and we're like, I think you should try to work with me full-time. We could just full-time be working on YouTube together, and that feels like the right move. It's not ideal circumstances. My YouTube journey has just been a story of taking something that's not an ideal circumstance and doing something with it. Like COVID happened, so I started the YouTube channel. Garrett lost a job because of COVID layoffs, so we like moved in with parents, saved up money, moved to San Francisco. Then this situation where this job wasn't working out, so then ended up hiring him full-time full-time, and now we're like full-time doing this together, which is a dream. It is a dream. It's one of those things where I found that like the crab shell, if it's empty, I will expand myself to fill it. But it was very stressful because I can't just see it as a hobby anymore. It's like I have to see it as a job, and I'm the only one doing this. And so all those limiting beliefs is just like, can I do it? I don't know if I can do it. Like it's all just kind of coming up, you know? But then I had this mindset shift and I was like, what if this thing that I'm really scared of is actually like what I've been wanting all along? Garrett and I have wanted to work from home together this whole time. And there have been a lot of days where I was actually like really lonely, just like being at home all day long. This house has been kind of hard for me the last couple of months when it's been like really overcast and then Garrett's working and then I'm just at home. I feel like I just have had a lot of alone time. I wanted him to work from home. And so I was like, you know what? It's like, it's a scared, excited thing, really. Look at Garrett. He's working so good. So when Garrett quit to do YouTube with me, there was part of it in the back of our minds where we're like, maybe he could have a YouTube channel and I could have a YouTube channel. Because he's had one for a while. I don't know if you guys know this. He's had a music YouTube channel since I started mine, but he hasn't really like pursued it. So it had like, I don't know, 300 subscribers or something after 4 years because he hadn't really pursued it that much. So when he quit this job, we were like, why don't we work on that? Because it was like pulling teeth to work on my own channel. Why don't we start working on yours? And the results that he had is crazy. It is so crazy. Like he has a video now that almost has 100,000 views as a new YouTuber. It took me 9 months to get monetized and he did it in a week, 1 week to get monetized. Just crazy. We posted maybe 10 videos and he's got 5,000 subscribers. The growth was crazy. And that made me feel like maybe I do know what I'm talking about because he had so many questions for me and I was able to help him so much with strategy. And it made me feel like maybe I do know what I'm doing as a YouTuber. I just haven't been consistent. I just haven't been showing up. I just haven't been doing the thing. And that was kind of the beginning of getting a little bit of confidence back. So August was really just grind time. We were working on his YouTube channel, working on my YouTube channel. We finally put this set up with the black background. I have carried this set with me from all the houses we've lived in. 4 times we've put this set up, which is crazy. So like sometimes you look back at old videos and you can't even tell where I was living. And I was kind of just killing myself with the intentional planner. I was like, okay, we'll make a school year version and then we'll make an undated version. And I was really just like throwing spaghetti at the wall because I was really stressed at really being the sole financial thing. The YouTube channel is it, and that was really stressing me out. Yeah, so August was just characterized by a lot of work and a lot of stress. Then in September, I had a relative who lost a child, and I'm like very close with them, and I care about this person so much, and so I needed to go back home. So again in September, I went home briefly to be with family. And I think because of certain events that happened this year and just my change in mindset, I actually started hating productivity content. I was like, I hate these acronyms. These acronyms work. I hate it. I hate flip chart videos. I don't want to talk about productivity another second in my life. I don't want to talk about time management because I don't know, with all these things happening in my life, I'm like, what is the priority? Does time management really matter? It's like the people that matter, and like, do you need to schedule in every second to be with these people? I just started really like, it was like pulling teeth to want to talk about it, which is the absolute opposite energy you need when filming a YouTube video. But it was in September that I started working on the potential planner, and that brought me to life. Working really hard all morning on the planner. This afternoon, I'm gonna have the rough draft of it printed, so that's really exciting. Guys, the planner is done. Like when I started this video, I was in the trenches of it, and now it's done. It's been sent off. I've worked on multiple versions, so I'm really excited. It's gonna be announced really soon. There is nothing I enjoy more than creating a visual. Even when I was a math teacher, what I loved about it was creating a visual, like a template for people to work on, whether it was a presentation or worksheets if we're in the school context. I love creating visuals that people can actually tangibly use, and making the potential planner just brought me to life again. After these events that had happened, I was just a little bit more clarified on what matters. And so the beginning of that planner, I think, is a lot more deep than the intentional planner was. It's like really about what is the soul of your life. And I really had this complete shift with productivity. And I'm like, I'm not doing these acronyms. I'm not doing this time management stuff. What's important about productivity, what's valuable about it, is finding the soul of your life. With the potential planner, the whole beginning is about what is important to you in life, really doing that. And that was just so clarified to me during that time. And it was just so fun having my friend come over and take product photos, and then like helping with the website, and Garrett was working on it. And it just felt like this team effort that just really like brought me to life this year. So I just got so much more energetic and alive. And then in October, I did this 6-week fitness challenge thing that I was doing. So I was eating really healthy and I was working out. My energy was so good, feeling really good about myself. I was feeling really passionate with the planner, and like things just finally in Q4 started clicking again. Then in November, Garrett's great grandpa passed away, so he was back for that funeral. I didn't realize, but looking back at this year, I'm like, there was quite a lot of funerals that we're going to this year. But with the release of the planner, once I got done with the fitness challenge, I was like, I want to do another challenge. So that ended up being, I don't know what you saw in the winter arc video. I was like, I think that concept is just cheesy or whatever, but I do like this action board that I made. So I'm in the middle of that challenge right now. And so I'm like doing my gratitude journaling and my morning journaling, and I'm reading every day, and I'm getting ready. I'm getting dressed in the morning. I'm not staying up till 3 a.m. I'm waking up every day at 7. And I just have really gotten back to myself. I just feel so in the groove. And this reminds me so much of when I first started my YouTube channel. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome back to my channel.
And Garrett's.
Really passionate about it, and I was going to this coffee shop every morning in Idaho, and I have so much more passion. Like the passion is just so much more alive because I feel like I'm breaking ground on a new direction, or like a new pillar of my YouTube channel. Because I was always like, I did personality type stuff for a while, and then I went to productivity, and I just felt like, I don't know, it's just a little complete. I can't figure out the niche, but I just feel like I'm breaking ground on a new direction. So we just had more friends come and visit in November, and now it's December, and I'm just feeling so good about this new direction with the action board that I've been doing, and then I made the vision board. And in December, also, I upgraded my camera. I should show you the difference in color between this camera and the previous camera. I'm already not that, I'm a pale person just in general, but it made me look way more pale. I was just so pasty all the time, and I would put on tons of bronzer and I would still just look white because the way the camera washed me out. Then in Final Cut and editing, you have to edit it so much, and then we would get LUTs, and like you would have to really work way too hard to try to get like white balance to look even normal. Anyway, so I'm so much happier with this. I feel like it's a lot more true to skin tone in particular, which I'm really happy with. And I'm not using it in this video, but I got the Shure, what's it called? Shure SM7, whatever. I got that podcast mic that everyone has. So I've been really excited about that. I think that's really an upgrade to the audio. A lot of things are just making me feel a little bit more confident and excited, like new things are happening. I just feel ready to come back full force again. And I'm ready to just have fun with it. When I first started on YouTube, I would just kind of talk to the camera or whatever. And because I was a new YouTuber, I don't think it's super compelling, talking too slow, all this different stuff. So you eventually learn like, okay, these scripting techniques work, these copywriting techniques work. Just kind of templated myself to death. And I felt like I hated my videos. I would watch them and I'm like, I look dead behind the eyes. And that's because I was dead behind the eyes a little. I was just looking back at the first year I started my YouTube channel. I posted a picture of it in the last video, but it was this whiteboard of all the things that scare me. And I crossed everything off that list because I said I was going to do things that scare me, and I want to make that board again, because one thing that I've been wanting to do for months, this change I've been wanting to make is I want to start posting like how to do YouTube content. In July, I made a bunch of new friends who all do YouTube, and they were asking me for so much advice. After having those conversations, I was kind of surprised with like how much I know actually when I'm talking to beginners. And then I did coaching. I started doing Q4 coaching in October. Out of all the clients, all but one wanted YouTube coaching. Garrett wanted help with his YouTube channel, and we were able to get him monetized in a week and then get 5,000 subscribers like really quickly from basically nothing. But I was just like, maybe I know some stuff, and I'm actually really passionate about it. I love YouTube. I'm literally in love with YouTube. I think it's a personal growth project. Like your character grows so much. You learn so much about whatever your topic is. You learn so much about that, but then you learn how to present, and you learn, you learn how to be a better communicator, and you can make money doing it, and you're at home. I mean, the possibilities are endless. Like whatever you want it to be, it can be. Anyway, so I'm just obsessed with YouTube, and I was like, why don't I just start going that direction a little bit? I've done a couple videos about how to do YouTube in the past, but I'll just do one video and then it doesn't do well, and so then I kind of just stopped, and I was like, I'm gonna do 10 videos about how to do YouTube, give the algorithm a chance to just catch up, and we'll just see. Maybe people don't want it, and if they don't want it, that's fine. But I am passionate about it and I enjoy it, and I think my energy, like I'm just even more alive right now talking about it. So I gotta go that direction. I gotta do it for a little bit. It scares me a little bit. I feel a little bit like an imposter, but I love it. And like when I look back after all the changes that have happened, Garrett losing his job, 3 deaths, moving houses, tons of trips, us going there, people coming here. Even despite all of that and feeling all this doubt in myself, I went from 36,000 subscribers to 65,000 or so. I'm really proud of that. I didn't realize that. When I was looking back, I was like, yeah, I think I just had a big jump in January, and then that was that. But in January, I went from 36,000 to 46,000. That's a big jump. I still continue to grow like 20 more thousand, even with all that stuff going on. If I can do that with all that stuff going on, with all that self-doubt, what could I do if I'm confident in myself. I'm so excited about this year. This feels like a new rebirth that I haven't been in for a while. This feels like I'm breaking ground. It feels like going back to when I first loved YouTube, like back to the beginning when it was all new. I always talk about in this channel, like you have the awkward, mechanical, and fluid phase. In the awkward phase for a long time, and I think I stayed in the mechanical phase too long. I think I stayed in the mechanical phase for years, and now it's time to go into the fluid stage. Something I haven't done was I wanted to talk about what my favorite video of the year was, my favorite thing that I created. Okay, obviously my favorite thing that I created is the potential planner. I loved that. I fell in love with that process. I loved that so much. But my favorite video that I made, I think, is probably the video even with the least views, and that just like happens sometimes, and I like need to give myself room for like passion products. If you are interested in like a little bit more of my story, that video, the journey of changing your life, I was most proud of that video. I spent so long editing that video. Garrett, we figured out what songs we wanted to put. Like, it was a creative song melding together process, finding all the footage, and really just enjoying the achievements. And I think that was my favorite video this year. I was really proud of that, as well as actually the video that just came out about everything I know about productivity. I'm letting my personality out a little bit more. I think I've been boxed in a little bit. So I was just proud of it in that regard. And then I wanted to list the top 3 things that I was grateful for this year, the big changes. Okay, and you should do this too, because there's kind of a punchline in a second. So think of this too. Think of the top 3 things you're grateful for. For me, it was Garrett quitting his job, that's number 1, getting Muffin, and getting a new place, a new apartment. Every time I think of what are the best things that happened this year, every single time they're things that are outside my comfort zone or things that scare me a little bit. The best things are things that at first were a little nervous, and now I'm like really excited about it and I'm loving it and it seems normal now. I was like nervous to get a cat, actually. I was like, I don't know if they're gonna be able to let us, it's kind of expensive, and now he's my favorite. And I'm just reminded again and again to do things that make me scared excited. When I look back on the highlight reel of my year and the highlight reel of my life, it's always things that scare me a little bit. Scare me and excite me. The risks that I took, those are the things that end up being on the highlight reel of my life. If you want an interesting highlight reel of your life, you got to do things that scare you. So I started my YouTube channel in 2020. So I went from 0 subscribers to 893. In 2021, I went from 893 subscribers to 7,000 subscribers. The next year, I went from 7,000 to 19,000. In 2023, I went from 19,000 to 36,000. And then this year, I went from 36,000 to 64 or so thousand, depending on when you watch this. So this was the year of the most growth. Despite all the doubt, despite not trusting myself and everything, it actually turned out pretty good. And I'm starting to trust myself. I don't know if you know, like I sing sometimes, and if I'm in a place where I can't really hear myself sing very well in the monitor or whatever, there's part of me that wants to just kind of like pull back because I can't hear myself, you know? But like what you actually need to do is you have to sing louder and go in the mic more so that you can really hear yourself in the monitor. But it's scary at first because you like can't hear yourself. So there's a second while you're not hearing yourself, but you're being loud. And so you feel like, I don't know. Anyways, that moment, that just like symbolizes like what I'm doing right now. Okay, you're feeling insecure, don't lean out, like lean in. And that's actually what gives you the confidence. If I was gonna tell the story of this year, it is the story of trusting myself and learning to trust myself. It's been really beautiful. I can't wait for 2025. I'm so excited for what 2025 holds. Thank you so much for watching. I seriously appreciate the comments. People have been here. Let me know how long you've been here. I'm curious if anyone was here when I was living in Boise. Has anyone been following that long? I'm just really grateful for all you guys. I hope you have a great holidays. I hope you have a great new year. And I hope that you do things that scare you. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.